Right.
Could you check?
Yeah, it's recording.
Great. So we need this one. Bernard, could you tell me, please, did you have a chance to watch the session and to look through the materials? So
Yes.
great.
Yes, I did rewatch the video. So I was able to have a look at what you discussed last week.
Yeah, but you didn't fill in the reflection form, right?
No, true, because because I wasn't taking part in the session. It didn't feel right or so.
All right, you could do it. Okay, that's not a problem. So last time, you all know that we had a look at the basic structure, very useful one that you can use at your lessons. You know that we had practical part where I suggested you a question, and we worked with my ready-made question that I brought to our classroom. But like in the heart of philosophy for children, this similar approach, and it means that you practice questioning, and that's the first and maybe the basic skill, actually. And you can start with whatever you want. It can be a game, it can be an object, it can be a video, a musical part, a story, so a thought experiment. You can see brains in a vat. So whatever. So keeping this, so taking this into account, so we keep it in mind, I would say that we are using and training like a number of key skills. One of the first things you do, you interpret the thing you see, even a question. Even if we start with a question, at first you have to understand it somehow, interpret the key notions in the question. The second thing is you start questioning. So you already wonder about the thing you see, about the stimulus, or you doubt if it's a quote, if it's someone's statement, if it's a question and maybe you doubt that it's a correct question, or like what kind of the universe we imply, like you asked last time. Then you can see this conceptualization. You can see that something when we, I know, for example, we discuss a story and we speak about lying and cunning, and we try to extract the concept from the story to see what's the main theme, the main topic, and at the same time we try to draw distinctions between the concepts, between, for example, telling a lie or being cunning. Is it the same thing? Are these things the same or different? So we use it a lot, and the general understanding is that you grasp the meaning and find the key concept. We'll talk about it later. You can see in brackets, so session 7, when we work with art, it's more visible, the way it works. Then producing hypothesis, and we did it again last time. I showed you the way it works, and that's always a part of your work. So you want children dare to think, dare to suggest their own answers. So that's the explanation. Just dare to think, the message. Argumentation, so justifying your answers, we know that. And we will talk about critical evaluation and logic, problematization next time. That's the aim of our next meeting. Today, I want to focus on questioning with you and to help you practice. Not giving you the list. You could have read it in the overview article. There were types of very helpful questions. So you already, you are a bit prepared. By the way, that's why you won't find this classification in our presentation today. More practical things. I will try to illustrate the skills first. So we can try to have the first little exercise, and you can see the illustration of the skills. Yeah, not of the structure, but of the skills here. That's something that I call visual riddles. Yeah, so that's not even a painting. Yeah, just two pictures put together on purpose. So the first thing you can do is interpret it somehow. So tell me, please, what do you see? Can you make that? So, you know, on Margaret Sharp, yeah, so who worked with Matthew Lipman and wrote this famous book, The Doll's House. She's at the foundation of this P4C method and the whole thing around the world. She called it like making sense of my world. That's all about making sense of my world. And that's what we do at the first step. So just tell me, what do you see? That's not difficult. So who is brave? Okay, Bernard. The microphone.
Here we go. So obviously I see a boy or a girl with short hair reading a book.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe I also see, I see a flower bulb. Which is not yet
it
flourishing.
Looks like this
But it could be.
It could be something else. Maybe.
Oh yeah, now I remember. I already remembered the next slide. Sorry.
You've seen it.
Yeah, but you see, so I would have guessed something different.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's what I see.
Okay, so I don't know whether all of you read that quickly. So can you recognize fruit on the right part?
Is it a fig?
That is, yeah. And actually in Russian it has two different names, like injir, and fig as well, like a fig tree. So could you put these things together? Does it make any sense to you to see a boy looking into the book and this fig on a tree? So any ideas, any possible connections?
Could be that the book is or the boy's reading about how a fig grows, like the stages of development of a fig, I guess. So it's an informational book.
All right. So we can use these signs. Does it make sense for you what Carmen says? So you can show this. Yeah. So yeah, Bernard, Nastaran. Okay. Marcel.
What about figuring something out?
Oh wow, I like it so much. Yeah, thanks to English language, we can do it like that. So he's figuring something out. Great. Language skills. Anything else? Okay, Bernard.
Is he studying Vygotsky?
Oh wow. So how do you spell it? It starts with a V, I guess. Vygotsky, yeah. So
B-Y.
Type it in the chat.
G.
Yeah, it starts with V as far as I know. 1 second. Yeah, so it sounds similar a bit, but like not the same letter. All right, so let me show you here. We don't need to spend much time on it. Oh, sorry. Some Russian context I can bring into the classroom. So there is a Russian expression and I couldn't find an English equivalent. I didn't look for a Dutch equivalent. Maybe you can tell me, or in some other languages. So to look into a book and see a fig. And fig, it's a kind of this sign. Yeah, when somebody shows you, like children can do like that. It's an informal sign, not very insulting, but it seems that you are laughing at the other person, saying like, you won't get it. Yeah, you won't catch me. You won't get it. I won't share. And knowing that, Yeah, can you put the pictures together now? Or can you ask a question now about the boy? Yeah, knowing what fig means in Russian and knowing the expression. Is it possible? Could you try? So you know what fig means, yeah? That like not sharing, yeah, or saying you won't get it. And the boy looks into the book. How can we put that together? Or maybe you cannot come up with a good question that may help us, yeah, put these things together. And then make sense of the expression.
Come on, Nastaran, you can do it. I must say, I have absolutely no idea.
Okay, it's a difficult question, I know. Bernard, okay.
Just to have a guess, because it says you won't get it. Maybe that he's told very often that he doesn't get things, that he's not the smartest in class, so that's why he's studying very hard.
And what was, could you repeat the very first sentence?
Well, since the fig symbol means you won't get it, maybe that's why he's studying so hard, because he never gets it.
All right. Okay, I see. And you give an interpretation. Yeah,
Yeah.
the skill that you are using right now. That's exactly what you do. Anything, Nina, Carmen? So look, go back to the expression. You look into a book and see a fig. So the book shows you this sign. So the book laughs at you. Yeah, the books tells you, yeah, like you won't get it, you won't get anything, I won't share. These are the words of the book. Yeah, you see it from the expression. And then you can come up with a very logical question. Which one? Okay, Marcel?
Will reading help you to get it?
Is Marcel's question clear? Because I'm not sure I got it. Could you help me? Hey, Nina.
And then to further explain what Marcel might have meant by his question, or
yeah,
how I got it is that he meant to say that if the boy could learn more about the thing that the book says he will not understand or get, maybe.
Let me try, because I'm still not sure I got it. Let me try. Are you asking something like, does reading always help us understand?
Yes.
Okay. Because when you say, yeah, we'll get it, will help it, is not a very nice thing in a question. It's a good tip when you always try to ask full question. Even if you repeat things, don't mind repeating things, especially with young learners. Yeah, so I'm a young learner. I didn't get it from from scratch. Sorry. Yeah, so so you suggested a big question. Does reading always help us understand, or does reading always help us know, know more? So it depends. Yeah. So okay. Oh, sorry. Actually, you made a big step like forward or from the stimulus and asked kind of a big question already. But we can be still a bit closer to the stimulus, and in order to interpret this visual riddle, the pictures, and to understand the quote itself, not the quote, the expression. So let me show you the way it might work. Again, I'm too quick. So this first step, yeah, interpretation. So making sense of the pictures. The fig, we know what it means in Russian. Yeah, So the question, how can a book laugh at us, saying I won't share? Yeah, you just put two things together because you know that you look into the book and it laughs at you. Yeah, so you can ask, how is that possible? What does this mean? And you mentioned it somehow, you started to speak about understanding, yeah, comprehension. So the reader does not understand anything, or people say, yeah, that he doesn't understand, or maybe he really doesn't understand. So comprehension is a key concept here. Yeah, so, and you found it. So figured it out or fished it, yeah. Then we can ask again a bit more about the boy. Yeah, again, we are within the stimulus here. Why doesn't the boy understand the book? Yeah, so, and it always helps young learners yeah, to stick to the stimulus at first. And you see that here we dare to think, we produce hypothesis. The book is in foreign language. Yeah, so he can't read yet. He doesn't want to read. The book is about modern quantum physics. I hope I wrote it correctly. Yeah, and etc. Of course, you can hear yeah, many more ideas. And here I will ask you to practice again, to think. So you see 4 hypotheses. So which one requires an argument? Which one do you think is less obvious than the others? And you would rather ask the author of this hypothesis to give a comment, yeah, to justify it somehow. So which one? So Carmen, maybe you can choose.
I choose how can a book laugh at us, or saying I won't share. I think that, yeah. Do I need to explain why, or?
So it seems to me that I was not clear. So could you explain, yeah, why? And then I will tell what I wanted, what I asked you for.
Oh, sorry. I would choose the first one because the answer would be less obvious for me, because, well, you're not usually, a book doesn't actually laugh at you or say that, you know, it's not an actual, it doesn't have a mind of its own. So that's why I would like to elaborate on that further. Yeah.
So do you, that's, this question is for, yeah, for all of you. Do you see any answers to this question that Carmen liked and that, yeah, I suggested you as a possible one that we can ask here? Do you see any answers?
I'm a little bit lost. I don't really know.
Yes, I'm lost too.
Okay, maybe I'm not the only one.
Okay, I'm very sorry. Let's unravel. So could you tell me, who can tell me when you weren't lost, at which point you think you weren't lost? And
Yes, I can tell you, I was lost when you asked us, at least that's what I thought, you asked us which of these 4 hypotheses requires an argument.
yeah,
Then Carmen started to say something about the question, how can a book laugh at us saying I won't share? And
that's it. Yeah,
and to me, that was not an answer to the question.
that's right.
So
Yeah.
there I got lost. And then you went off in explaining whether this question, how can a book laugh at us, whether that needs an argument. But that was not your original question, right? You wanted us to look at the 4 hypotheses. So that's
why
you lost me.
Right. That's why I asked you, do you see any answers in the slide to this question? And you have 4 answers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Carmen, are you all right with that? That we can see 4 possible answers that you can come up with, or children, yeah, can say, answering this question: how can a book laugh at you? Not literally, of course, but this in a metaphoric way when we try to interpret. Yeah. So, for example, the book is in a foreign language. That's why I don't understand it. And as if the book, yeah, was laughing at me and saying, I won't share any information with you. You cannot read me. Is it clear now? Nina? Yeah? No one lost? So I'm trying to be quick. So yeah, in case you see any problem or any doubt, so please show and tell us what's the problem. So we have this possible question, and for answers, for example, like written again, or you heard, you have on your board, on your mind map, and then I ask you each time to look at the things we do as facilitators. So imagine you are running the session. You are working with this visual riddle in your classroom, in your whatever little group, in your family, and with your friends. So you see 4 hypotheses. Which one would you like to problematize, or which one would you like the author to clarify? From these 4, the book is in foreign language, he can't read yet, the boy doesn't want to read, or the book is about modern quantum physics. Which of the hypotheses seem less obvious and needs an explanation? Bernard?
I'd go for hypothesis number 3, because that's like more, this can be any reason behind it.
Okay, can you suggest a question? What can you ask?
Well, why does he not want to read?
The book is boring, or he wants to go for a walk and not to study. So does it explain the not understanding? Or it doesn't? The things that I said.
The not understanding of the book, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or...
let me do one thing. I think it should help us right now. So we can use a whiteboard. So let's do it, because I really want you to see it. So I will try to write it very quickly. So we have this: how can a book say, like, I won't share? I won't share. And we already know that the key concept is this understanding or not understanding. So we are speaking about not understanding. Right? And we have this hypothesis. Let's take only one. Bernard chose. So the boy, the boy doesn't want to read. And that may mean many different things. And you want the author, the participant, to clarify it. And the question Bernard suggested was, why doesn't the boy want to read, right? Is that right by now? Everything? Yeah. And I suggested an answer. I imagine, like, I'm in the child's shoes. And I answer, Bernard is my teacher. And I answer, so it can be, the book is boring, or just, I want to go for a walk and not to study. Do you see any problem in this dialogue? Are we still on track or not really? So was Bernard's question a good question, or you would ask a bit different one? That's what I want you to see here.
I would say it's a good question, because it unravels why the boy does not want to read. So why he does not maybe understand the book, but it's boring. You can go into further questioning to unravel why it's boring. Like, doesn't he understand what it's saying, or does the topic just not interest him enough? So it gives more more stuff to deepen your questioning and to further understand why he does not want to read.
Okay, so what could you suggest then, if you support Bernard's question, yeah, and you said why, could you suggest the next question? What would you ask then?
The next question I would ask is, what makes the book boring?
Again, I just imagine, yeah. So are you satisfied with the answer?
I'm not so sure.
Okay, so let's just do, so maybe I'm sure that, yeah, it will give us better understanding. Can you suggest the next question? And the thing is that we had the key question at the very beginning, and we try to understand something about not understanding. And the thing is that we don't need to go too deep into details and forget about the key question. Like deeper into the forest, but still on track. And it seems that we still don't connect to things that we were supposed to connect. Yeah, and maybe we can do it right now, or we can do it earlier. Can we do it right now? So we need to connect the idea, the hypothesis that the child suggested, and this not understanding. How does the thing he suggested causes this not understanding? Why is that the reason? And here you have each time actually you have something. So here you have I don't know, let me do it like so. Don't like. You can ask about this. Here you can ask about boredom. Yeah. So here you can ask about wishing to do something, yeah, different. So here you can again like, yeah, absence of wish. So each time you have something very important. Yeah, you have this content that you can, it is called anchoring. Yeah, so you always try to keep on track, to keep, to hold the thread of the dialogue, yeah, of the key question. So do you see what you can ask using these words each time? So not understanding is something we need. So we have to connect these two things, not understanding and the, yeah, like this, and the answers, yeah, the child gives to us. Nina?
You could ask a question if he doesn't like maths because he finds it difficult and might not understand it. That's how you could link it together, maybe.
So here you can try, you're trying to ask whether this like dislike is the reason of not understanding, or not understanding is the reason of disliking.
Yes, because if you don't understand anything, if you don't understand the topic, then it doesn't make it fun. Particularly fun to read about.
Yeah, so here you that is a good question. It depends on your aim here. The question you ask here, you know, it looks more like this philosophical counseling, you know. It looks more like a private dialogue you're having with the child, and you are helping the child learn more about the real reasons, yeah, that make him like or dislike something, being lazy somewhere, and so on. That's one of the ways to use practical philosophy. In a group work, you're a bit more focused on the content, yeah, on the concept, on the question. So I really like your question. If we go back, yeah, we can just ask, like simpler, yeah, the first thing, like how this not wishing, unwillingness, yeah, to read prevents you from understanding, yeah, or how why or how can this something boring make you not understand it. Yeah, so you always try to connect the answer with not understanding and to provide a better connection. Is it clear what I'm trying to show here? Okay, Marcel?
Yes, it is clear, but could you provide some tips of what you can do as a facilitator to make sure that you are asking the right questions here? So what do you need to do as a facilitator to stay on track and not to ask just random questions that go in any direction? How does that operate in your brain?
So that's what I'm really trying, yeah, to show you here, yeah, in details. You always have, that's the best thing, is to have the key question in front of you written, yeah, again, anywhere on this virtual board or anywhere else in your chat, when everybody can see the question that is in the center, yeah, of your dialogue right now, yeah. And so how can a book say I won't share? And we know, and we can always write down the key concept, yeah, like understanding, not understanding.
Mhm.
And we are looking for different reasons of not understanding, actually. And each time we hear an answer, we try to link it with the question. So how does this, anything the child says, prevents you from understanding and causes this I won't share from the book? That's it. So you are just with the question, and you try to link the answer you hear with the question. Yeah, you can always ask. You don't need to do it yourself. You all or to think that it's obvious. Yeah, if it's really obvious, sometimes yeah, we can take it. But you can ask. You can ask the author. You can ask the group. Yeah, anyone else.
Could I ask another question, because this is the more technical side of things? So
Mhm.
so how to first listen to what the learner says, then in your head rephrase the question, anchor it to the original question that you would like to answer. So that is more a technical skill, right? So it's listening, careful listening as a facilitator. It's also rephrasing and reframing your question. But from a pedagogical point of view, what do you do with answers? I know you will talk about this later on, but what do you do with answers that are really off track and really sideline the dialogue? And you as a facilitator think, you see all kinds of alarm bells ringing, and you think, hang on, this is not an important remark. But on the other hand, you don't want to disappoint the contributors, because if you say, no, that's not good, then you disappoint them. They will never say something again. So how to balance between those two elements? So technical skills and being the pedagogue.
Yeah, we are going to work together on difficult answers. Marcel, you've seen it. Yeah, I sent you the form right before the session. When you so we'll talk about it a bit later. Like when you receive, I don't know, like I don't know what to say, just I know, blank, or I don't understand anything, such a great answer. So when you hear like it depends,
so later on you will come back to this later on, right?
And I want I have a kind of a chart that I will share with you later. But I, as far as I'm a practical philosopher, I dare to say, I always want you to try to think it through, to suggest your own solution, your own answer, because when you do, it's like highly more probable that you would be able to do it when you run a session. When you read even a very beautiful and structured this chart, what you can do when you face this difficult situation, and you even learn it by heart, it will help you less than when you think it through at first on your own, and maybe you can come up with more wonderful answers. Yeah,
I just wanted to bring it up. It's all fun.
Yeah. So the only thing I can answer by now, you can ask again a participant. So do you? Like, I know what. Could you tell me, please, why are you talking about this? Or so maybe someone. You can always show that you are an ignorant philosopher and you are not afraid to show it. Yeah. So like, oh, sorry, I'm lost. Why are you talking about that? Or maybe someone can help me. Why, I don't know, Bernard is talking about that. or Marcel. Yeah, I do not understand. Help me, please. Yeah, that's something you can always do. And maybe someone, children know each other better, and the experience, the example that we adults really didn't get works. And they can find the link with the question, with the topic. You always ask them. Or you can ask, so could you remind me what was the question we are talking about? Could you remind me what was the last question I asked? Yeah, or someone, could you remind us? What was the task? And then this helps you keep back on track and help, again, the person who went somewhere try to do it, or others help you keep the track. That's, yeah, the thing you can do.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me take a little picture of this dialogue. And you see, actually, you can even, that's great to work with real dialogues, yeah, and have some exercise like that. But you can even try to change the position, and that's really good for you. You can imagine what you can ask, and you can imagine the answer, especially yeah, like a terrible answer, or like just anything. And what would you do with it? Yeah, you can even like play like that. Okay, so let's go back. So here, yeah, actually you can see, like, that's the basic, yeah, questions you can have in mind. You may notice that I used them quite often. Like, you always check clarity before you ask to agree or disagree. Yeah. So you always try, check if the group understands what was said before going forward. Yeah. So, like, again, not the agreement, but the understanding itself. That's why I really like, yeah, this question, like, does it make sense? Yeah, so is it clear, or does it make sense? And again, it's really good not just to ask does it, but to repeat, yeah, the idea, if it's short, if the answer is short. And you always can check with someone or ask, is there anyone who didn't get, yeah, the answer, who is not sure? So someone can show, yeah, it, and ask again for help. Who can help? Who got the idea? Who can say what yeah, the other person says? So always try to ask at least one person to retell, to show, yeah, to check the meaning. So here, yeah, and then that's the answer to Marcia's question as well. When someone said abracadabra, yeah, or blah blah blah, I don't know what why I'm talking about that. I'm going to a birthday party today, yeah, in the middle of the dialogue. So whenever this happens, you can ask, oh my God, do you see any problems with this idea? So with this example, with this, yeah, I don't know, anything. And again, you ask the group to spot a problem, yeah, to see that it was unclear, to see that it was you heard a controversy, yeah, a contradiction, that, or to see that it was irrelevant, and to explain it. not the teacher explains, but other children explain to other children that it was irrelevant and why, and even why it's important to keep on track. They do it. So here I will show you, here that's the slide, an example, how it may go on. So how does, to clarify, how does his unwillingness to read make him unable to understand? That's a possible link, that we can ask. So, and you can see again, we imagine this possible argumentation. He doesn't want to read, so his eyes see, read, but his mind is somewhere else. He may be daydreaming or just thinking about other more interesting things. That's why it's difficult to understand what is written. So, and I had this exercise with children from 6 to 8. So that's something that's not imaginary, it works. So it's based on practice. And then, so that's something about the stimulus itself. And then you can, sometimes children do it themselves, sometimes at the very beginning, and again with younger learners, you can open up a discussion yourself after like feeling the key concept, having some ideas. You can ask like, and what helps us understand, or like what prevents us from understanding, what else prevents us from understanding, and you open up a discussion. Or do you have, you can ask again, the key concept, you can ask children, do you have any more questions about comprehension or about understanding? Maybe you have your own questions, not about the boy, but about your understanding, in general. So, and you can see this kind of, I don't know, more philosophical questions, like how is comprehension possible? Philosophers like asking these questions. Like how is something possible? Or what makes understanding possible? So just different possible formulations. Any questions so far, or it's clear here? Good.
No, I have a question, because you say that you taught it to students from 6 years old to 9.
To 8.
To 8, but it's hard, because I also work, sometimes I work especially with younger one. How you made it so interesting for them to follow it, because especially this age, they don't concentrate actually if we talk a lot. Do you understand what I mean? Because normally after the 10 minutes, 15 minutes, they are not there anymore. I want to know that how you make the discussion, this really good discussion in this age, at this age.
This could be a cultural issue as well. So it also depends very much on the culture in education. And I don't know whether there's differences in international schools in Russia or in other countries, but
Okay.
So I guess you can choose the right time for each, I don't know, part for each exercise and for the discussion itself. It may take like 10 minutes for some children. That's okay. It can take 20, and for some more, there are children who are really into it, and there are children who are like can do it a bit, practice it somehow, but then they are focused. So I work with small groups. I guess I have like mainly really interested children. And the one of the solutions when we worked offline is just to use the space, to move under the chairs and to talk under the chairs, for example, or to suggest them to take the side when you have a dilemma, or you have a yes or no answer, and you use the space again, like go here if you think so, go here if you think so. Give them a piece of paper to draw their answer, like when you discuss the picture, solved, so this the little dialogue, it can take you like from 10 to 20 minutes. And then you can suggest this bigger question if you want to continue, like what helps us understand, And for example, they can take side. I would like, or you give, I don't know, 2 colors to different sheets of paper, or like we fold sometimes. So you can draw one thing that helps you understand and draw one thing that prevents you from understanding. Could you give 2 illustrations? So you change the activity, give them something physical. So when you work online, I don't have a chance to do that. It's the funny thing, they are much more concentrated when they work online.
That's good. Yeah, okay.
I draw something, I write things on the screen. That's more about like emotions, making fun of things, showing things. And so sometimes it seems, for example, that it might be boring for them right now to discuss the big question. So we may dedicate one lesson to several riddles, so they can solve like 2 pictures, I don't know, or three different visual riddles, just to get to the interpretation and to discuss the questions about the stimulus itself. And then next time, we can refer to this experience and think of doing something around the bigger question. Again, you can think of drawing or I don't know, even acting out something.
Okay, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah.
Okay, Marcel, it seems to me that you wanted to say something.
No, but you already said it. So cutting up the experience into various segments could also be helpful. So keeping the sessions relatively condensed and working with the stimulus first and the unraveling of the potential questions, and then keeping it confined to 20 minutes, and then maybe next week continue. So of course, in combination with the fantastic examples that Anastasia just mentioned. So that could also be
and it always depends on the context, on the format you work. I thought also that one of the things that are possible, especially if it's primary school or even like preschool, kindergarten, you may have I don't know, a box with ideas, and then they can, again, we hang up a question, they go away with the question. Or maybe you suggested them these 3. How is understanding possible? Too difficult, maybe too complicated for young learners, and at least this what prevents us and what helps us. And they can answer this question like just later when they want, during the week, for example, or until the second day, the next time you meet, and you collect the ideas and you work with them. So each next time they have, I'm going to pull something out. So which idea will I get? And they get the other person's idea. Like read it, or you help them read. And that's a tradition when the listener tries to explain, to make sense of the other person's idea, and only later the author shares what was the original idea. So it's always this practice of understanding each other, like a surprise, and they like pulling out these ideas, and it can take you like a long time, again, like until they are like tired and want to move to discuss the answers you have.
Okay, that's good. I also have another question, but I will ask it at the end if we have time, because it's related to the article that you sent to us to read.
Okay. And you can always write me this question personally. So oh dear. So here you just see that we made sense of it. So the eyes see, read, but the mind is somewhere else. The eye see, but the brain doesn't. The eye sees, but the mind sleeps. So you can see 3 interpretations that we have now after the discussion. And the big questions as well. So I would ask you, why to ask children questions? Tell me, please, why are we doing all that? Okay. Like you're waving. Okay, Carmen.
To figure out their understanding of the question and figure out what's going on inside their heads, what they're thinking about. Just to understand their level, I guess, of what's going on in their minds.
Okay, so I'll pass the microphone. I will type quickly. Carmen, ask someone.
Bernard, you had your hand raised as well.
Yes, I'd say. Oh, can you hear me? By the way, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. So I'd say to make them think. To make children think.
Okay. Could you pass the microphone?
Sorry, I passed the microphone on to Nina.
See if I can think of something else. To see if they're listening.
Okay.
Oh, and Nastaran, you go.
Or maybe to encourage them to participate.
Pass the microphone.
Oh, Marcel, sorry. Sorry.
I'd say why to ask children questions, and children is in brackets. So why to ask questions? Because the brain is a muscle and it needs to be trained.
Like this?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Needs training.
Yeah, I remember. Okay, so many things we can do here, actually. So let me tell you. That's just, yeah, I wanted you to, again, to have your own answers. So yeah, children is in brackets on purpose. Why to ask questions? Again, I can share one answer from my teen group, as I did last time as well. They said that we ask questions because, so two main answers, because questions help us find more information, learn new information, get more precise information. And actually, like, the message was that knowledge helps us survive and live better. That was one big answer. And the other, that it is close, it seems that it is involved in the first one, but I really like it's very beautiful. That so we ask questions to reveal gaps in understanding, in thinking, in knowledge, and to fill in the gaps. So yeah, teens are very smart, you know. So now I quote them. So yeah, so we won't do it right now. I will just comment it, something that you, if you suggest this question, you can ask children. Why to ask questions? Yeah, why not? And again, you have answers. You can ask them to have a look if you don't have many again, or if you asked, even if you have a big group, you can write down 3 different answers, just randomly. And then you ask them to see, are they really different, or are the authors speaking about the same thing? So you ask them again to link, to see if to interpret, to see if the thing, so something is involved, or something is really different, and why, to extract some criteria. So just to comment here, to my mind, so we maybe if we discussed it further, so we would make a connection between to make them think, and brain is a muscle and needs training. And so we can sometimes like link ideas together, and then we have a kind of this we see this thinking process, and it can be a beautiful big answer, extended answer, when you start with this idea and you go on and go on, and they are logically connected. So you can do this beautiful thing when you work with children's answers. So like this building on. Okay, so let's take a picture here and move on. So That's just to erase your answers. So, and tell me, please, what is a good question? Maybe you already have some ideas after our very little, drops of practice.
Can I start?
Of course.
I'd say questions that link back to your hypothesis. Yeah. So I should pass the mic, right?
Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just opened the window. So it seems to me that you are speaking about this linking process.
Yeah.
Question. Could you repeat the way I can put it?
Yeah. I said a good question is a question that links back to the hypothesis that you have.
I wonder why you say links back to the hypothesis.
Well, I just from the little dialogue that we had, like why does a book share or can't share, and then the hypothesis was that the child doesn't want to read. So then good questions are questions that link from that hypothesis back to the previous.
These ones, like they are like anchoring. That's called.
Okay.
Anchoring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anchoring. Yeah, that's it. I tried to write a little comment.
Yeah. So I pass the mic to Marcel.
I'd say a good question is an open question, allowing for multiple answers. And I pass the mic to Nina.
I would say a good question stimulates you to think. Oh, and I passed the mic on to Nastaran again.
Nastaran,
sorry. Yeah,
could you? Yes, I see. Could you catch the microphone?
Sorry. Yeah, the good question is a question that helps you to think critically.
So to think, and you add to think critically.
Yeah. So who didn't answer? I think Bernard didn't answer yet. Yeah.
Yes. No.
Yeah. So Bernard.
Not yet. Thank you. I think a good question is a question that's relevant to the situation.
Okay. Yeah. I would share one idea that I heard and I really liked. That a good question is the one, like what you ask it for. So like and it seems that you that's just one of the things. It again does not deny anything that you said, but it's a nice thing of like awareness. Like you keep on track, you understand what kind of a gap you're trying to fill in, what you are really interested in. So I would allow myself to add this one as well. As like my contribution, but we have we have 4 because I added to think critically, in brackets. So the one like what you ask it for. Actually, that's about functions, different purposes, different functions of questions, and that's what one of the practices you may try to do, to when each time you come across a question, you hear a question, you ask a question, you can try to stop and think for a moment, what's the purpose of the question? Kind of, is it problematizing, clarifying? Yeah. So is it a rhetorical question? Are we just checking this, like if the child is listening? Is it a real question? Yeah, kind of, and so on. Yeah, so you can try to to distinguish questions and their relevance to different situations. It can be a good practice. Yeah, so to be a better facilitator. Yeah. So here very shortly, so you can see 4 quotes. So could you choose one, and so that you really like and associate with, you really like, and give a comment so we can interpret a bit more today. And that's all about questions. We have 4, so Marcel, sorry, you can be the last one. Or you can ask clarifying or problematizing questions. So Nina, could you choose first, please?
So I have to pick one question that I...
One quote, one statement, about questions that you you'd like to support.
Then I would say the last one. A good lesson often starts and ends with questions. And
so could you say why?
Because I think that you're never done learning, and that learning should kind of prickle your mind to want to learn more and to wonder. And that should be visible at the beginning of the lesson to draw you into the lesson wanting to learn about it, and in the end leave you with more more things to ponder upon and to think about and to question.
I would add one thing. It seems to me I spoke about it, that you one of the possible ways to like to organize any lesson, even if it's a lecture, when you start with some kind of questions and you provoke this demand for knowledge in the audience. Yeah, now they are not just like idle listeners, but they have a kind of personal interest. They are more involved. Then you can share all the things you are supposed to share when you deliver a lecture, when you share knowledge. And at the end, you can always try to make the audience ask bigger questions, that can link this knowledge with different disciplines. They may have more questions to deepen this subject, this specific discipline. And also, so considering this philosophical part, some ethical questions are like very often important, and can arise in any sphere. And then they can go away with these questions that might deepen the knowledge of the subject. They can make links, with different kinds of knowledge they have, and they may have these bigger questions, thinking about again consequences, future, and other possibilities, or some ethical problems. So I totally agree with this quote by Peter Worley. Okay, so Nina, ask the next one.
Hernan, what do you think?
I do agree with the 8-year-old girl.
Okay.
The problem with questions is that they often lead to more questions, and I think that's definitely I need to comment on it, or I need to explain why. So that's also what I notice in my daily life. Every time you start questioning something, like, why did I actually do this? Because now I step into this rabbit hole, and you start questioning things and question again and again. And it's a good thing that you question things, but it never stops.
So why is that a problem? Why would you call it a problem? if it's a good
Per-
thing?
Well, personally, because you realize how much you do not understand.
Oh, right.
You know, sometimes they say ignorance is bliss. I do not agree with that, but yeah, some part of it is true, because the more you question, the more you understand that you don't know. Yeah, a lot.
So
Can
this,
I step in here?
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why is that a problem? Why is the fact that you get more and more puzzled and do realize more and more that you don't understand a lot of things in the universe? Why is that phenomenon in itself problematic?
Bernard, is the question clear?
It's very clear.
Huh?
Sorry
Well,
to ask the question.
Well, to me, it means that I get lost sometimes, and at some point, I just say like, okay, then I just stop my search here.
Yeah.
I call it a day. It's like I'm never gonna find it out anyway. It's just it becomes so much that I don't know how to narrow it down again, how to narrow my focus again.
It gets you confused.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I could, of course, ask a question, why is confusion a problem? But I won't, because we have other people that also want.
So you are running this philosophical consultation now, this personal, yeah.
Yes, looking for a subscription philosophical consultation. No.
Yeah, and that's that again. There is an exercise like self-consultation when you can do the same thing with yourself. Yeah, so you can, okay, and why is that a problem? So each time your answer must be not obvious for you. Yeah, you pretend again being this ignorant philosopher, Socrates, for example, and that's okay. How does that a problem? How is that a problem? Yeah. Okay. So Bernard, Carmen, or Nastaran, who is choosing the next quote? Oh, the mic.
Nastaran, you
Yeah.
take the stage.
You're welcome.
Okay. So for me, it's the last one. A good lesson often start and end with questions.
Okay, would you like to add another?
You already
way?
talked about that, yeah, but for me it's interesting because always start with a question and end up with another question, because it helps you to go further for the next lesson, and you find out something new with the next question.
So it kind of links
yeah,
you. Yeah,
a step you go further and find something new.
and stay
It's
motivated.
interesting.
Yeah, motivated and interested, keeps you motivated and interested. Okay, yeah, thank you. So yeah, you can choose the same quote, but give another reason. That's all right.
Yeah. So Carmen.
I would choose the first quote. In questions, I open up possibilities, because through questioning, well, anything basically, you open up that creative thinking parts in yourselves and in the group of students if you're doing this in a class. So you are able to think of new possibilities and to explore a certain topic further through the questions. So yeah.
Okay. So Marcel, could I ask you to give a comment to the second quote as far as it is left? So maybe you can support it somehow.
Yes, you can. It to me, it links to one of the things we discussed in the previous slide, where it came to, well, my contribution was to the question, why do we ask children questions, is that the brain is a muscle and it needs training. So I think one of the fundamental characteristics of the brain is that it is plastic, it can change. So the plasticity of the brain is that it has this inherent capacity to grow and to make new connections. And in order to do that, one needs to pose questions. So I think it's not only from a philosophical point of view, the central act of reading the world, but also from a physiological point of view. So if you look at current brain research, then it becomes more and more clear and apparent that the brain has this inherent capacity of growing and making new connections. And in order to do that, one must ask oneself questions. So that is why I also think it is not a problem, but a solution.
Okay. So just to add that actually it seems that we live longer, yeah, when we have this trip. Yeah, healthy and longer. But I can ask, if it might be a problematizing question, why not to solve crosswords? Why asking questions?
Well, I'm not saying that we only need to ask ourselves questions. We also need to solve crossword puzzles. We need to play chess. We need to go for a run in order to have physical development. So I think I would like to look at humans as holistic entities, and asking questions is a very important mental activity, but not the only
So
one.
there is a problem with your argument because it does not specify questioning. And we try to specify and to justify questioning and not other things. That's important to have this holistic view as well. But something that is absent in the argument is something that supports questioning itself.
Yeah, you're right. So I'm doing as if it is quite eclectic, and one can do all kinds of things with one's brain in order to keep it fit or to make it better or to improve it. And the quote indeed speaks about posing questions is the central act of reading the world.
You explained why it must become a habit. Yeah, the things you said, it's a kind of argument here. Again, like the more general one, but it's more about the habit. But yeah, but not about the first one. You can see maybe Bernard wants to help you.
Yeah, well, I do understand the link to everything else, also definitely the physical component there. But if you start making a habit out of questioning, then you can always ask the question, well, why would would it be good to go for a run? Because if you, I don't feel well. But if you don't question things, you might not even ask the question, well, why do I not feel well? And what can I do about it? And what could help me? And what should I leave aside? And where could I look to find out what I can do? So that habit there is useful, I guess.
Like always trying to find a solution. Yeah, to understand the core of the problem, of the obstacle, and find a solution.
Yeah, I guess making a habit out of questioning definitely helps you with that.
And may I ask, Anastasia, which one do you like yourself?
So I guess the last one. Yeah, and I gave a comment after Nina's answer. So that's not the only one that I like, but yeah, if I had to choose, maybe I would choose the last one or the second one. All right, so let's go on. I see that we have 15 minutes more. Let's try to do, the thing I talked about, I guess it would be your homework. So practice, we were practicing and then it's practice again. So I will show you this again, a kind of 2-minute video. Do you all see Sophia? So the robot?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, only 1 minute.
Привет, София.
Oh no.
Привет, Джимми.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I do remember that we were looking with my colleague for this video for such a long time. Everything was in English and we were looking for the Russian one for our participants. And I copied the Russian one, not the English one for you. That is a problem. I'm very sorry. Tell me, please, have you ever seen any interviews with Sophia? Yeah, Bernard?
Yeah, I think she was also on the show. It's called The Story of God with Morgan Freeman. And there I saw an interview with the makers of them. And it was, it's a bit creepy, but very interesting at the same time.
So then we can use the the shorter version of the stimulus, you can see this robot Sophia. So she looks like a human being, only you can see on the back side that it's a robot, that she's a robot. So yeah, you can see they are trying to play. So they have a conversation. She has mimics, and she became a citizen. So she got a citizenship of Iran, as far as I remember. So she really can talk to you. She can joke. So that's the video. So you can see that she's trying, to make fun of things. So they try to play. And the thing is that maybe you just hear for the first time that there is such a robot. You can see a little bit the way she functions. Unfortunately, I'm very sorry. You don't hear the speech, the dialogue itself. It's not really that important. We can use the thing we have. So when you see it, when you face it, what question comes to your mind? So could you write, please, one question? Imagine that you were at the show and you observed. She was a guest. She talked to the showman. Tried to play. Stone, scissors, paper. With him, and trying to make jokes. And you know that she's a citizen as well. So what question comes to your mind? Could you write it down? I would ask you to write it into our chat. There was a question like, what are your plans? Oh, I'm going to conquer humanity. And then she laughs. Of course, it's a joke. I love humanity. And the showman at the beginning, like, I can't believe that's such an unusual situation that you are here and that we really have a conversation. Bernard, I'm not sure I got your question. Like, how do you feel? Is that a question addressed to the audience? Like, how do you feel? Could you specify a bit? Like about
It's what I would ask the robot, Sophia.
Okay, you would ask her.
Yeah, what is she feeling right now? Like, how does she feel?
So tell me, please, what was the task? What did you hear?
Oh, probably not the right thing.
I'm asking everybody again, like, because it seems to me that maybe I was not clear. Maybe you didn't hear me well.
Oh, so I thought if we were in the audience and we had a question for the robot, what would you ask her?
I'm asking you to imagine that you see to be part of the experience, but not asking her. What question comes to your mind? Relevant to this experience. Okay. So relevant to this stimulus. What would you ask yourself, maybe? It's nice to ask a robot. I will try such an exercise as well. Thank you for the idea. That is nice. So it looks like my home task for you as well.
Actually, this for me, this was the reason why I asked a robot, because I think this is ethically such a difficult question that most likely a robot wired with artificial intelligence can answer this question better than humans can. So that's why I asked this question to the robot, which in itself, of course, is an ethical problem.
Yeah, and she can say, yes, I am. So it is possible. I have the document.
Yes, but I would ask her if she thinks
maybe
that it is. So I ask her whether she thinks it's good to assign robots with citizenship.
Okay, or like, should robots be citizens, and what?
Yeah, yeah, should would have been a better verb.
Modality is very important in dialogues. Yeah. So I would write this one as well. Should robots be citizens? Yeah. So we have all of them, right?
What is Nina's question?
I'm still thinking. It's difficult.
It's difficult, right? Yeah.
Hooray! I'm provoked thinking.
You certainly do.
Dear, yeah.
We should be wary of time.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, good. Don't want to rush you there, but just.
We definitely need more time for our course, for our sessions, for our practice. Do we have the same rights? With, again, like the question seems not full. Yeah. Always, again, think of the person who reads your question and doesn't read your mind. So do we have the same rights? The same rights with whom?
Yeah, and who's us?
Yeah.
You mean humans and robots?
So that's one of the tips. Always try to have a look at your question, like when, like if you were not the author.
That's already more clarifying.
Yeah, that's much better. Nina, you can maybe you can share with us orally what makes you doubt.
Well, I don't know. I find this a particularly difficult thing. I was thinking of maybe asking something like, what is the difference, if there even is one, between being a robot with a citizenship and being a human being with citizenship, if that makes sense.
Like, if there any difference between a citizen robot and a citizen human?
Yeah, not if there's, but what if, what it is, like what that I think that would be.
Assume that there is.
Well, that's why I put in between bracket that if there even is, what would the difference be?
So when you have these doubts, you always can ask the question like, is there any difference? So one can say no and justify why there is none. And if there is, so you will receive the answer, clarifying the difference. So this question, without like additional unnecessary things in brackets, you can do this. Yeah. So is there any difference is a very good question. So we have 5 minutes before we are supposed to finish. So look, I will show you one thing. Maybe you are already familiar with it. So it seems to me that by the end of the session, you are like much more experienced, and then you see that all your questions are quite big and like the problem is like to make it really clear, or how to make the best like how to put it better, shorter and really like clear. So that's a famous like quadrant of questions. So generally how we can distinguish different types of questions in order to better understand what types of questions we are like aimed at. So you can see text, it's like the world of the stimulus, yeah, the top part of the chart, and the world, like the external world, everything, yeah, like the bottom part. And then you have these closed questions and, yeah, the open part. So the yellow one, yeah, that's when children ask something to understand the stimulus itself, like whether it is a fruit or a flower. Yeah, where does it grow? Not even where does it grow? I guess where does it grow? It's the red one. Yeah, so we go to scientific research in order to answer. Yeah, so we need to ask someone who studies biology. Different questions like what if, what can be the possible answer of the boy? What can be the possible reason of the boy? We are still in the world of the stimulus, and we produce different hypotheses to understand, to interpret the stimulus itself. Yeah. Like, does Sophia really, I don't know, has a sense of humor, for example? Yeah. So it's a speculative, it's a kind of what if question. It is open already and interesting, but not the big one. Yeah, not the philosophical one, not the bigger one. So very often we work in the green square. Yeah, and especially again with young learners to practice and to understand, yeah, things we suggest them. But we try to get, yeah, to reach this blue square. Yeah, when we ask about this, what makes comprehension possible, something that is like broader. And the one more thing, you always can show that some questions, like they remain open, but they aren't only philosophical. And we can go with this question and ask, again, like a neurobiologist, ask different, I don't know, a doctor, a psychologist, and receive some important answers as well. And then we can go back to our blue square, have more information, yeah, and discuss, yeah, things really like better, be more profound. So as far as you are already experienced, you don't have examples of questions that we like really can randomly put in different squares. So when we do it at the very beginning with a new audience, it's very like representative, like with children, like why are there cherries on the wallpaper, or why this boy doesn't have a neck, things like that. But again, you keep it in mind. You can practice it as well. You can practice it in space. You can ask children to write questions, or you can cut and write down different questions even to a story, I know, like Goldilocks, to show them the difference. Yeah, like what is a naughty thing? Why are there naughty things in the world? Or what was the naughtiest thing Goldilocks did? Can bears I know, be friendly with people? That's for scientists. Yeah, so is it possible? And something, yeah, in the story itself, just, I don't know, why did she eat only the third bowl of porridge? Yeah, so things like that. So that's just one of the like basic theory things. So and 1 second, yeah, and the last thing before I let you go, I will ask you only one little reflection question. So here you can see one of the I know that the Philosophy Foundation, and again, like Peter Worley and Emma, they really like to like promote these kind of questions, especially for those who start, yeah, the work. And I found it really prolific as well. When you use an open and closed question at the same time, when it is open in content, but it is closed, the form is closed, especially when you have, again, people who can say like, I don't know, or like, I can't share a hypothesis, that's too difficult. You give this choice. Yeah, you have it in the question. You only need to take the side and try to start yeah, thinking about why you take this or that side. And here, that's an example to our stimulus. Is artificial intelligence rather a threat, or I don't know, a salvation or hope for humanity? Yeah, and then you have this type of question you can start with, actually with any audience. Yeah, that's one of the tips, yeah, you can you can use. So yeah, that's that's something you will find in homework articles. So I will send you the form where you won't write like the main ideas from the session, but you will do this exercise. You will see this exercise. I will ask you to think of how would you deal with I don't know answer. Yeah, with the answer you didn't get, like you don't understand what the child said. Yeah, but you are supposed to facilitate the discussion. Yeah, and you are the omnipotent teacher. Yeah, so and so on. So you will see different different hard answers, hard situations, and you can ask about one that you think might be difficult for you. So the last thing, you will see different nice materials you can use. One thing I will ask you to share as a ticket to go. So that's a structure that was used, you'll see again in the research in the article, with children after each session. I will ask you to answer only one question about yourself. What I did well today. So you have some possible answers, but you, of course, you may share what you think. Or you can say actually not about you personally, but about us as a group. So what we did well today. What did we manage to do?
Just to clarify, Anastasia, you would like us to answer this now orally?
Yes, this one now orally, a ticket to go, and all the rest will go to the to your work.
Yeah. Okay. Who wants to start?
I can start. What we as a group did well today is help each other understand when something was misunderstood.
Please pass on the mic.
Carmen?
Okay. So I have to think about it like on the spot, right? Well, I definitely agree with what you said. I think there were a couple of misunderstandings also for me during these lessons, and we really tried to clarify what was meant for the exercise. So I can't really think of a new one, but yeah.
Who's next?
Yeah. I'll pass the mic to Nasta.
So the new one, what we did well today, maybe we learned something new through the good discussion.
Please pass it on.
So pass Bernard, sorry, I always forget.
Thank you. I think we gave pretty good examples of what good questioning can be like. And I personally learned a bit more about questioning. I've taken some notes that I'd like to go and practice this week on teaching practice. So that's good.
Marcel?
We did that well today.
What we did
Pass it on to Marcel.
Yeah, okay. What we did well today is we really connected as a philosophical community, be it that we are dispersed over the world, but we are connected because we were really targeted with this within this session. And I pass the mic on to
me, I guess. Yeah. So that's funny, but I would say that the greater challenge for you was to ask questions. Yeah. So what can be the question in this specific situation after this I don't know, this replica? Yeah, this statement. What can it be? How can it help? To see the problem. Yeah. But at the same time, it seems to me that we did see how it works. So why it can be difficult, but what do we really want to find and to be able to do? And again, children to do as well. So thank you. I really enjoy the sessions with you. So you are very welcome next time. I don't know when we can discuss homework. I will think about it. So I hope you enjoy my tasks I sent you this
I
time.
have one more question.
Yeah.
Because last week we also got a little homework assignment where we had to think of a reason for
Yeah,
the
we'll
noun that we got.
yeah.
Do we have to hand that in somewhere, or do you want the answers, or?
If it's not mentioned, I ask you just to send it via email, and we'll need it the next time. So please, share.
And I know that to email it to you.
Any
Which question? With the words you mean? That we have to make
the arguments.
Okay.
And I received, so only Nina had a problem with the card. So I sent you the request.
Yeah, but it still didn't work. It said that I could only pay with a credit card, and I
think you can just ask the PayPal on the technical support.
Yeah, but it's I can pay. I've paid with PayPal before, and I have my bank link to it, so I should be able to do it. But then when I try to pay your link, I can only pay by credit card.
And you tried the request as well?
Yes.
That is
strange.
I've
already emailed them, and they don't understand. It's like they've tried to reset something, and I don't know what it is. And I tried it on my computer, on my phone. I even added an extra email address because she sent it to my Stenden email, and it all didn't work.
Okay, I don't know why. All the rest worked. They are like frozen for some time because I'm a newcomer. But I hope it works later. I will just look through the settings. So, and
shall I stop the recording, by the way?
Yeah, of course.